Cornish chough used to be a common sight amongst the sea thrift, decorating the beautiful coastline. The county bird, in fact. But because its home got changed, it disappeared. But not quite. So the question is, can it come back? We'll take a close look at the chough's fortunes, past, present and future. To achieve this, we'll take literally a bird's eye view to see what's happened to its rugged home, so popular with human visitors to Cornwall. But can it appeal to choughs too in these changing times? Win or lose, this is a double story, because away from those cliffs is an exciting project based on a popular tourist attraction, Paradise Park at Hale near St Ives. There are 133 species of crow, and they occur worldwide except for Antarctica. They include choughs, jackdaws, rooks, ravens and magpies. And some, like the brilliant jay, wipe acid-producing ants on its plumage to get rid of parasites, it is thought. Crows are clever and successful. But what's gone wrong for the Cornish chough, and what could go right for the bird of the county? Welcome to nest box number 2. Out there on the wild coast, choughs typically may nest in caves, and their life can be tough, coping with the elements, storms and gales at sea. But here at Paradise Park, their breeding arrangements are positively gentle. A perfect B&B, you might say, even an Airbnb, so they can fly in and out of their nests. And this is number 5. There is quite a selection. No gales here, but later lots more noise as we follow the growth and appetite of the chicks. To start with, this pair is nest building with material supplied by the management, the Chuffed team, and same with the other boxes. Then it's back to base, where they're very well cared for and watched over, inside and out. Classic coverage with hopefully some happy endings. Well, we'll see. Meanwhile, with the pair at box number 3, the nest is looking good and the couple seem to be devoted. If this is a young adult, it may be the first time it's actually seen a chick. It doesn't seem to move, well, much. Very confusing, but that looks more promising. But not for long. And it all ends in a disaster as the parent takes it away, for whatever reason. So much for nest 3. 3 eggs left, April the 18th. Nest 2 is better news with 4 eggs, successful feeding from successful hatching. Just look at those baby wings. To become vital. Feeding, lots of cleaning, incubating. So these homes of hope offer the captive choughs the best chance of success, from nest building to hopefully fledging, to add to the wild population out there on those wild cliffs of North Cornwall. With these captive pairs, we'll get special insights into their private lives, ups and downs. That would be very difficult compared with the wild birds in the much more inaccessible locations. But Cornwall's coasts are not all cliffs. Here, for example, a jackdaw, that little crow cousin of the chough, checks out Mounts Bay near Penzance, a wide, long, sandy beach. In the future, could it be a chough over more and more people, second homes and traffic, as more humans alter the landscape? We'll see, and so with that other opportunist, the herring gull. Now watch out for your fish and chips. They patrol the plastic polluted shoreline, which of course varies with the tide. Like most of the coast, it's been changed by us for us. And this will turn out to be a crucial factor, or tractor perhaps, in our Choughs story. Could the famous St Michael's Mount be involved as well? That smart piebald crow, the magpie, may see some changes in the future, even to be joined by a black relative with a red lipstick beak and legs, its cousin the chough. Again, we'll see. The rocks, the soil, the vegetation are all part of the question. Can we save the chough? Many years ago, Prince Charles, now king, tried to help to get Operation Chough going. If he couldn't, who could? And can they succeed today? In some places, people feed wild choughs. Their roofs are a kind of bird table, and they often drop in literally, sometimes led by a cautious one who checks out today's menu. Then they really all go for it. Well refueled, it's back to the cliffs, hopefully to rear more choughs. The same can apply to Paradise Park in Nest Box 2, where the family is doing well. But will the remaining eggs be hatched? Incubation is entirely by the female and takes about 17 to 18 days. So it's good luck. If you want to avoid the rather commercialised place Land's End, Cape Cornwall is much wilder and has choughs rather than shops and tourists. It's nearly as far as you can go in the southwest of England and is protected by the National Trust. So of course, so are the choughs. That other clever opportunistic crow, the magpie, must know the area pretty well, like his namesake does, back at Paradise Park. The choughs are getting ready for the 3 o'clock show.
Even here at the park. Now they are also known as the bipro, there's the single bright red feet, the long curved red feet, and the bright red legs. It's one of the times when people have fat roofs, fat cottages. Two sides would collect the material for the side of the fire, And then, as they flew over the patch roots, the embers would fall upon them and set them on fire. It's not the best of reputation perhaps, but it did give them that name as well. The abundant insects to feed their young high in protein. Now we've got TP who's trying to actually get back stage there as well. These guys are considered
Lovely grubs. Well earned for some brilliant flying, which we hope will be achievable when the growing chicks fledge. But will they and can they? So far so good in box 2. The chicks are feeding and being fed well. But even better are the very first signs of feathers, a sort of downy fluff. It's still difficult to imagine these little creatures being able to fly like their parents in just a few weeks' time, in theory at least. We want to be a chough flying over the cliffs with their tricky air currents above a restless sea. What they call the making of, with Ross Burney at the controls. Not everyone loves a drone, and regulations now widely apply. Choughs would surely be intrigued. Is it a bird? It doesn't sound like one.
There we go.
Very professional. Yeah. Or how about a takeoff? Ross is simulating the search for feeding grounds, a crucial part of Operation Chuff. Trying to make up for those of which the last pair nested at Stem Cove near Newquay until the final last lonely one died in 1973. Replacements soar high and low, looking for suitable feeding places. Gorse is no good, as it covers ground suitable for that distinctive probing beak. So they must search elsewhere. Like down there in the distance, a small grassy island which might be worth dropping into. Being crows, jackdaws are quick to find a good spot on any grazed land. They're already pecking at the grass and shifting stones. In fact, they're all around. Plenty of food and nest sites of a particular sort. It's been suggested that when the Choughs died out here in Cornwall, the jackdaws moved in, taking advantage of the place and its potential. The question is, can the original landowners, the Choughs, make a comeback? They may if the habitat is right and the breeding opportunities are there. And they are, as the jackdaws prove, a short distance inland near Pendeen. Now follow him. And that call. For jackdaws, the old tin mine chimneys are a very different birthplace to the Choughs back at Paradise Park in Nest Box 2. But maybe, just maybe, Choughs can move into these man-made places too. Certainly that's what our making of drone pilot Ross Burney is hoping, to get some good wild footage. These days the area is a contrast of old and new, ancient and modern. Bricks and mortar. As time passes, buildings change, and so do mortgages. New barns are built, houses are abandoned. Only perhaps to be taken up by swallows, which in the past nested in cliffs and in caves, not unlike Choughs. So by chance we've helped some birds. More creatively, today, people are putting up special nest boxes for that most aerial of birds, the swift, which feeds, mates, even sleeps on the wing. How about that? Back at Paradise Park, also in nest box number 2, the 2 surviving chicks so far are sprouting proper feathers and shouting very loudly. A bit of parental cleaning and a bit of parental preening. Chicks have grey beaks and legs, not yet the famous red lipstick of the adults. It's getting crowded, or should it be crowded? Good feathers now, but for where? This is a stormy coast. There are many shipwrecks in Cornwall and derelict tin mines which may interest the next generation of Choughs. And it's the geology of Cornwall which has now become of renewed interest because of the lure of lithium to try and supply the huge future demand for electric batteries, lithium instead of tin perhaps. Choughs and jackdaws together on a hot summer's day. Excellent weather for the tourists. Lots of preening as usual amongst these mixed crows on a hot tin roof until they head for the cooling breezes over the sea below. People enjoy and record the place in their various ways, especially the dramatic southwest cliff path. Open to all. It's a good place to see them and to photograph them. And making of Ross Burney knows that. But what's this? Could it possibly be a sort of stone nest box with a chimney on top? If so, Ross will have to turn his attention in that direction. It will be just what he needs, but the National Trust is warning walkers to keep moving on. Fair enough. In any case, the feeding visits by the parents, as we've seen in Nest Box 2 at Paradise Park, can be very quick, and they don't always use the same window. Very inconsiderate. Except for a quick preen, and then it's off to find more food. So Ross gets some useful shots in the area where wild choughs seem to be doing well under protection and in suitable habitat for the food of earthworms and insects, sometimes in land grazed by livestock. Now back to Paradise Park, to a real nest box, number 2 in fact. Bit of cleaning up under the tail that's almost ready to operate. Red beak, black beaks, wing feathers nearly cleared for takeoff, strengthening muscles. And that's how it used to be a few weeks ago. But now it's getting rather too crowded. Time to move on. And out. Captive-bred birds from Cornwall are now flying free in Kent and Jersey in the Channel Isles, and the aim is to expand the populations further afield over time. As every year in which Operation Chuff operates, the future of the Cornish chough looks even better here in Cornwall, as our two make the best possible use of those super feathers and join the crowd in a landscape they really need.